Good afternoon and welcome back after the lunch break. This session will provide an overview of the life of the association, particularly taking into account three angles, as you can see, so membership, trustees, and SIGs, that stands for Special Interest Groups. Sharing ALTE in a nutshell means pointing out its daily commitment and I would say it's being also a family or dear colleagues I had the fortune to join 20 years ago, exactly 20 years ago. This overview would like to raise awareness about what moves concretely behind and in direction of the declared ALTE overarching areas. So setting standards, sustaining diversity, and maximizing impact. The main aim is that such awareness can lead to the enlargement of ALTE, thanks to further connections, thanks to the welcoming of new institutions, thanks to the growing involvement of current members, and finally, thanks to the active engagement of new colleagues. With regard to the first angle, details on what means being an ALTE member will be given by specifying the different kind of possible memberships, how to become a member, and the advantages in being part of the ALTE world. The ALTE Secretariat Manager, Graham Sid, will be our precious guidance in this sense.
Excellent, thanks very much. Oh. And applause as well, thank you very much. We are all on the same team, we're all wearing jackets with blue shirts today, so it's right for us. So, I just have 3 minutes to talk about the membership of ALTE. ALTE is fundamentally a membership organisation, membership of institutions. That's how we were founded back in 1989, 1990, of like-minded institutions who wanted to further the quality of language tests in Europe. And since then, we've seen a growth in participation. There are now 35 full member organizations representing 26 languages from across Europe. And actually, it's not easy to become a full member. There are lots of things that ALTE requires full members to be and to have. The most notable thing is to have a Q mark, a quality mark, and the session after this one will talk about what that means exactly. So it's actually not so easy to become a full member, but we value our full members. They do a lot with us and for us, and to enhance our goals. Now, the maps you can see there at the bottom, dark blue countries have a full member organisation in them. Currently, they are all European. And then we also have, at the moment, 153 associate members from 40 different countries. So some of the countries that have a full member also have associate members. And there are other countries in the lighter blue which have associate members. There's no restriction on how many members per country at all. I'm just giving you a map because I love maps. The point is we're all about how can we enhance the quality of our members' language tests or language assessments. And associate membership is perhaps the first step on that ladder. Now, we also recognize that lots of individuals are interested in ALTE as well, and so it's free and very easy to become an individual affiliate, and all that means is that you are basically on our mailing list, you're aware of what's going on, you can take part in courses, etc. And ALTE also has expert members, so these are individuals who ALTE recognizes for their work that they have done in ALTE over the last 30 years even. And lists of all our members, both institutional and our individual expert members, are on our website. So as I said, it's all about our goals, and our goals as an association can be divided into 3, and hopefully you saw that on our banner outside when you registered this morning or yesterday. It's all about setting standards, So that is about promoting quality in language assessment. Enough of rubbish language tests. We want language tests that are meaningful and useful. It's about sustaining diversity. Enough of English-only language tests. We need all languages and interlanguages represented. So that's why the goals of multilingualism, plurilingualism are very important to us. Languages also include sign languages, and tomorrow morning we'll see some presentations from our sign language community. And it's about maximizing impact, so it's all about getting our message out there to all our stakeholders, involving all of you and the test takers, the learners, the governments, the recognizing organizations, the ministries of education. And all our members are different. We recognize that. They do language tests in different contexts, and that's important to recognize as well. So it's that interrelationship in ALTE between, I guess, perhaps these are the three key stakeholders in ALTE: the researchers, the academic researchers, the practitioners, and sometimes there's overlap. Perhaps you yourself are both a researcher and a practitioner. You create the language tests, you deliver the language tests, but you're also a researcher at the same time. And then the policy makers, and by that usually we mean the ministries and the recognizing organizations that we deal with. Okay, Valdek, I'll hand over to you.
Is it me now?
It's you.
Okay, thank you. As you see, I have the pleasure and the honor to chair the meetings of the Board of Trustees. And I like to launch the page where you find all informations and you see how important the trustees are. And I can only repeat what Graham said about the membership. It's not easy to become a trustee. What is required is to represent a full member or individual expert member, to be nominated, to be supported, and to be elected. And this is how you become a member of this board. The board is in charge of making important decisions, including financial decisions, as well as many other decisions regarding the functioning of the association. And I'll take the pleasure to present the board in its full setting. Secretary General happens to be there in the back, is a member of this board by definition. This is how our Constitution or statutes? Constitution says. Plus the elected members, one by one. Please scroll down so that you can see them. You have seen me already. Emir Davis happens to be here as well. Then we have Stephanie representing Goethe Institute and obviously busy with other stuff at the moment. Then we have Barry O'Sullivan, individual expert member. I don't see Barry, probably also busy elsewhere. Then we have José Pascual, not present, representing Portuguese language in this setting of languages. Then we have Sibylle Plasman, also busy elsewhere. And Lorenzo, whom you maybe have seen already. He is elsewhere here. And our newest member of the board, Dina Wilczuk, who could not come this time, but you will meet her at any further. As you see, the setting of the board reflects all that Graham was saying about the whole association. Diversity in terms of countries, diversity in terms of languages, diversity in terms of, I hate to say, the size of languages, less widely used, most widely used, and representing the 10 minutes for me, too much. No, okay, all right, 10 minutes for everyone. Okay. I thought I would speak for 10 minutes telling stories about the board members, which I could definitely do, But if you want to hear them, you have to approach me this evening. Thank you very much.
Okay. In relation to the third angle of this session, we are going to present a snapshot of the SIGs currently composing the ALTE scenario. These groups meet face-to-face as part of biannual meetings, but also where needed with meeting online. And they can be chaired by any individual from a member organization or by an individual expert member. And I would stress a bit more the distinction between two kinds of group, project groups and discussion groups. The first one are focused with a clear target plan, a clear purpose, which could be create a product, a video, a material, a survey, something like that, or also to run a webinar. They have a realistic, doable time limit, maybe from 1 year to 3 years, more or less, in this range, and an appropriate also cost limit. Because the ALTE Board of Trustees, as Waltek reminded, needs to approve any financial request, including those arriving from the SIGs. On the other side, we have discussion groups that are more input groups, where chairs put forward the topic for discussion. They usually meet 1 time per year or 2 times, often without also online meeting. And these sessions represent opportunity to engage in practical issues or in problematic questions, to debate and to share different perspectives and different point of view. Now it's the turn of my colleagues, and in the next minutes I would like to give a direct and more precise overview of what is going on within the different SIGs. And so I would like to ask to the chair, co-chair, or deputy chairs of the different groups to come here in the order that I will give. In 1 minute, just a flash, trying to answer to these 3 questions possible in the following order. The first one, what does the SIG focus on generally? The second one, what is one highlight of the past year? At least one. Third one, what is the SIG doing at the moment, or planned activities? So I will start with the QMS, because quality is the premise and the bulk at the same time, and that's message. This is the message. Give me the floor as first to Katie, chair of the Quality Management System.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It's very nice to see you here. Yes, so the Quality Management System Working Group is it's actually a discussion group, and the main aims are the maintenance and the improvement of the quality of our tests. So this is all related to the standards and your context for testing. And it relates very closely to the QMark and going through an audit. So a lot of the discussion will be about aspects of the extensive validity argument that you need to complete when you do an audit, and sharing of good practice about what you do, the larger testing organizations, smaller testing organizations, and sharing ideas. But the second question is, what am I most proud of that we've done recently? And I think this really has to go to the introduction of a new minimum standard Standard 18, which is about the use and possible misuse of our tests. So that has now been implemented into the validity argument, and auditees are completing it very well. There's an awful lot of research going on, so we're very pleased about that. Currently, what we're looking at, or what we've just done is revise the validity argument to take account of online digital tests. And now we're getting into some more in-depth discussions about how we use AI in our tests in the development, production, and quality assurance. So at the next conference, which is in Lisbon, please do come to the QMS group, and we'd be very pleased to see you. So thank you.
Thank you, Katie. And your words remind me the importance to point out the example of MS-18, that very often SIGs are interrelated and join common projects and common work. Technology represents more and more a central part also of QMS. And so, Vincent, please.
Okay, so what we are doing in the SIG of technology is to revise what people are doing with technology based on validity, on reliability, and not only technology by itself. What we have done this year is to invite some ALTE members to show us what they are doing with technology to better understand how these tools are working, because usually you don't have opportunities to see these internal tools in the members. And we organized a webinar. Our webinar was with our colleagues from Duolingo. It's a huge opportunity for people to speak more than 1 minute, more than 20 minutes. You have usually 40 minutes, which is really fine to get a better understanding about what you're doing, because in this modern world, there is no place to take time to do things. So it's a very huge opportunity to do that. During the next round of 10 months, what we will do is to start to be thinking about philosophy, I'm French, and technology. I think that it's time to do that, because technology is not about only the technology, it's what is your way of thinking with that. And we really need to better understand what we are doing with that. So if you are interested, we can follow our activities in Lisbon. Thank you.
This is the missing member of the Board of Trustees, Vincent Fournier. There was no picture on the web, and you see the consequences.
Don't worry.
So I would say in this case, two chairings are better than one, and Dina is doing really a huge job by chairing, as you can see, 2 SIGs, the less widely tested languages and the manual for language test development and examining. Maybe a few words on behalf of Dina.
Thanks. So just quickly on behalf of Dina, who couldn't be here this week. So less widely tested languages, SIG does exactly that, to not focus on the big languages. They, I believe, have been working with Lami and Lorenzo on a survey of migrants' use of languages. And I don't know, Lorenzo, maybe you'll mention that project briefly later, perhaps. Yeah. So that's what they're doing. I know Dina's plan is also to think about our manual for language test development and how that applies for less widely tested languages, which brings me on to the MLTDE, the Manual for Language Test Development and Evaluation. And I'm not going to say anything more about that now, because there's a whole session about that tomorrow morning. So please come to that session and find out more about the revised manual, which is out now.
Okay, not only adults, YAL stands for Young and Adolescent Learners, with related specific profiles addressed by Danilo.
Thank you, Lorenzo. I'm actually co-chair of the YAL SIG. Letizia Cinganotto is the chair, couldn't be here because of the strike, as you know. And the YALTE has been recently restarted because it's been stopped for a couple of years. So we are like redefining our mission in ALTE. What we did to restart, so to say, the YAL was launching a survey to understand how members of ALTE are actually working with testing for young learners. We are still having and sharing experiences with our members, and we are always willing to show new experiences of ALTE members in young learners. So please, we would be happy to have you at our YALTE in Lisbon.
So, of course, the CFR is the most recurrent benchmark for our community, and many projects daily grow up in the wake of CFR, as Cecile will confirm.
Hello, everyone. I would like to briefly introduce the CFR or SAFR SIG, as Diane mentioned, and share some of the exciting works that we have been doing. CFR SIG focuses on the real-world use of CFR and the companion volume, of course, especially in language assessment. And we are focusing on key areas like alignment, mediation, and increasingly the role of AI, which is becoming more and more central to our work. That's why over the past year we have some highlights, great highlights. One of them was the Winter School of AI. ALTE was the co-organizer of that winter school with Foreigner University of Perugia, with Letizia. Unfortunately, she is not here because of the strike, like Dana said. And we had two presentations about standard setting and alignment. One was about Turkish test that I was responsible, and one was about English test. In Patch, we had the presentations. And for the future, we have great plans. So we will continue with the AI issues in Spring Days, again in Perugia, Italy. I was hoping to show the link, but not here. Maybe you can stop by the stand. Foreigner University of Perugia is here, so you can get information. 12th of May is going to be the start of the Spring Days, so we will be happy to have you in the AI Spring Days. And we are, of course, looking for new members, new collaborations. Please join us and join us in Lisbon in the CFR SIG. Thank you.
So from Cecile to Cecily, and now we have this opportunity to give a concrete example of what is a discussion group, and Cecily is doing a fantastic job around the sensible topic of social justice.
Thank you. Do I have slides?
No, just your
No,
name.
just my name. Yeah, well, I think some of you already heard a bit about the social justice discussion SIG this morning. This is, as Lorenzo said, it's not a project group, it's a discussion group, and the main aim of this group is to provide a platform for discussion. I am the only chair of this SIG, but that's only on paper, I would say, because I'm really happy about the format of this discussion group. I always invite a guest host to take over the meeting, which means that those who come to these meetings repeatedly don't have to listen to me every time at all the meetings. So I'm really happy about that format. I think it works really well. And it's always an aim that it really engages the members in discussion of these topics evolving around social justice, ethical questions related to testing, test misuse, test consequences, and so on. So last year we had a focus on both the meetings on advocacy and language testers' role as advocates. And my guest host in the November, where are we now? What season are we now? Well, I had one meeting with Hanne Baumer from the Directorate for Higher Education and Skills, talking about advocacy in relation to sign language users and testing of that particular group. And then at the last meeting, Piet van Avermaet was the host guest, talking also about advocacy and multilingualism. And I'm excited about the next meeting in Lisbon, where Jan MacArthur from Lancaster University will be my guest host and talk about social justice and assessment.
Thank you, Cecily. I think that the vitality of an association also translates into the birth of new SIGs, new groups. This is the case of the ACC, ALTE Common Corpus, as Marta Darren will, yeah. Okay, Darren speaks faster. So, Darren, because Darren starts to speak with a stop. That's fantastic.
So this is a new SIG. It's the ALTE Common Corpus. It's a corpus which is going to be a corpus of languages across the CFR levels. So we're going to be working closely with the CFR SIG, the Tech SIG. We're going to be using AI initially to create a corpus of many languages, up to 20 languages, and have language, words, lexicogrammatical structures for all of those languages. Then we're going to start the validation using humans, having human input into the validation of those levels. And then obviously we're going to use that, hopefully maybe for automated item generation, AI structures, things that we can work with like that. But the common goal is to have a common corpus for ALTE across all of the language that ALTE covers, so lots of languages. We're going to start and kick this off in Lisbon, so please come along. It's a really interesting one, and hopefully you can take part. Okay, thank you.
And last but not least, my dear Lami, I have the honor to chair for ALTE since 2008, sharing the commitment with Cecily. In the years, this group clearly became a project group, so with well-defined purposes, a related Gantt chart, and concrete expected outcomes. Let me mention, for example, 3 of these outcomes in their chronological order: the position paper or Lami booklet, if you prefer, language test for access, integration, and citizenship, as outlined for policymakers. LAT, I talked a lot about LAT this morning in the forum, so Lami Laziam assessment tools available in 13 different language versions, and the uneven language profile report. At the moment, on the one hand, we are completing what provided by the current action plan, including the joint project with Dina about the use of migrant languages in second language classroom, the knowledge of society report, the digital needs analysis for employers, and on the other hand, already next week is scheduled the kickoff meeting for the new Council of Europe and ALTE survey, language requirement, course requirements, and learning opportunities. So, we have reached the end of this roundup, 25 minutes to have an idea of what ALTE means. And let me conclude with a sort of slogan. So membership, trustees, SIGs, 3 angles for one life, the life of our association, so a part of our life. Thank you.